Hello and welcome to the first session of this video series intended to increase your knowledge in Excel. In this video, you will learn a very important concept of Excel, references. I think this is the most important concept that should be mastered by anyone who wants to utilize Excel to the maximum. So what are references? A reference, as the name implies, is something referring to something else. In Excel, we always refer to a cell or a range of cells. How do we do that? We indicate the column letter followed by the row number. Example, if I want to refer to, let's assume the value of cell B5 is 67, and I want cell E5 to get the value from B5, so I would say E5 is equals to B5. So whatever the value in B5, the E5 will be changed accordingly. So now there are two types of references. The first type is relative reference and the other type is absolute reference. Relative references means that the reference in the cell refers to another cell and the location of the cell is related to the original cell. So if you copy that reference to another cell, it will refer to another location related to the new cell location. What does that mean? If I copy this cell, Control C, I copy it to here, what will happen? It will get a 0. What's the value here? It says it's D5. It means it's referred to D, column D. Why did that happen? I shifted this formula from here 2 columns to the right, so the value will be taking 2 columns to the right of the original cell. So it was here, the first one was B5, now G equals D5, two columns after that. If I copy this one to here, it will take B8. Why? Because I have shifted the rows 3 rows to the bottom, so the new reference is 3 rows to the bottom. This is what we call a relative reference. The other type of reference is what we call an absolute reference. It means that the reference is absolute to the location and will always refer to that location. If we copy that reference to another cell, it will still refer to the same location. How do we do that? We use a $sign before the column letter and the row number. Okay, let's do another example here. Example F equal B5. Now I'll put a $sign and a $sign. So basically this is referred to this location. What will happen if I copy this formula here? It will still be referring to B5. If I copy it to here, it will still copy to B5. If I copy it anywhere, it will still be referring to B5. Let me show you how this will be useful for you in Excel, in practical Excel. Let's clear all these. Let's create a small table where we have some values here. Take some random numbers from here. Okay, let's assume that this is some values, some prices, and let's assume that this is the cost price, and you want to add selling price, and you have percentage here or profit. Let's assume that this is a 30%. So we want to multiply the cost price by the profit so we can get the selling price. So we'll start by saying that this equals this one multiplied by 100% plus this. So what will happen? We'll get this one. What will happen if I copy this cell here? What did happen? These prices are the same because this one is referring to C5 into F3, which is our original formula. This one is referring to C6 into F4. Why? Because we copied the formula one cell down, so it took all the relative reference, and it was indicated as a relative reference, so it took all the relative references and it shifted the reference one cell down. So we want to keep this C6, we want to keep this relative reference for the rows, for the cost price, but we want to refer to this profit as an absolute reference. So what we will do, we'll go back to our original formula and we will put a dollar sign here, and when we copy this formula here, now we have our correct calculation. How will that be helpful for you? You might say, okay, I will just simply do this. I will say that this equals to this multiplied by 1.3 as a simple calculation. It will give me the same numbers. But what if I want to change the percentage? For example, I could change just like 40% here. Rather, I would have to put here 1 into 0.4, and I'll have to copy it again, and the error possibility is higher. And imagine if this is a bigger table, you will have a problem. So which one is easier? You can control this by whatever you want here. Okay, now this is the basic concept. We basically also what we can do is we can have the absolute reference referring to part of the cell. Like, you don't need to put like to refer to a certain cell, you can refer to a range. How would we do that? Okay, let us modify our example here. Let's say I want to copy this column to another location, to another column here. What will happen is zeros, because now it's referring to G column. How will we solve this? Instead of here, we want to make the column reference as an absolute. So I will put $C, and I will copy my formula. So when I copy my column all the way here, it will be the same because it's still referring to C5. It's still referring to C column, and the other one is all will be referring to, as you see, to the correct cell. So this is referring to part of the reference. You don't need to always refer to absolutely to the row and column. You can refer to row only, column only, or both. The other type of reference that we can use is that we can give a unique name to a cell. So basically, instead of putting, like, let's say let's do this example. I'll give this cell, which is F3, I'll give it a name, profit. I type equals profit. I have, you see this icon? It means this is a defined name. So it's 0.2, which is 20%. So here, instead of putting $F $3, we'll just put profit, and it will work as magic. If we copy it here, anywhere, it will be the same. So to summarize, we have the basic aspects of references. We have the relative reference, the absolute reference, the name reference, and this is the this basic thing. If you master this concept, you'll be able to easily and efficiently create your calculation sheets, no matter how complicated the calculation. Hope you enjoyed this video and wait for the next video soon. Thank you.